r/AskReddit, when has a gut feeling saved your life? Serious. I almost got kidnapped once. I was like 23 or so. I was walking down my street at a little after dusk. I saw a van approaching a little ahead, no lights on. Didn't think much of it due to the time of day. The van slowed down and almost started creeping, as I was approaching this part of the sidewalk which had a tall solid wall fence to a community. This gave me some pause in that quick moment. For me to keep walking, I'd have to go between the wall and the van. In the little time it took me to take a couple of steps, and as the van was getting close, I noticed that the side door was slowly sliding open. The one thought in my mind was, why isn't the light turning on inside the van? When you open the door of a vehicle, the light should come on inside it. Unless you deliberately switch that off. And I just ran to the median. I ran in front of the van and across the street, because if they're gonna have some use of roadkill me, have at it. But they're not getting me in one glorious piece. Immediately, the van took off like someone lit it on fire. From a slow crawl to full speed. As I looked after it to see the plates, I noticed it had no plates. And still no lights. I called the police, of course. They sent cars out and didn't find the van. I never had anything like this happen again, and I'm just an ordinary person, so I don't suspect it was targeted. I was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. Story 2. I was working as a bank teller and our bank had large windows on two sides of the building so you could watch everyone walk from their car into the bank. A guy started walking in and I instantly knew something was up. He wasn't doing anything abnormal, I just got a weird feeling. I was the only one in the front. Everyone else was either at lunch or in the vault, so I couldn't leave my station. I prepared myself to get robbed, so I took a few deep breaths and tried to remember everything about him to tell the cops about it later. Sure enough, he walked up and opened his wallet to show me a note that said something like, I have a gun. Do not say a word. Give me all the money you have. That gut feeling allowed me enough time to calm down and formulate my thoughts so I could get him out of there as soon as possible while also remembering as much about his appearance, voice, mannerisms, etc. as I could. Edit. He was caught after his girlfriend turned him in. Story 3. My roommate, I will call him Mike, had just acquired a new girlfriend, Mandy, and she initially struck me as a very disingenuous and shady person. Mike and I are in the military, so we didn't have a whole lot of money to begin with. However, Mike decides to offer Mandy $3,000 simply because she asked him for it. What's worse is that Mike was going to take out a personal loan to give her this money. Mandy was always talking about herself and how she needed money for this, that and the other, and my bleeding heart roommate fell for every line that she gave him, so pretty much she was using him. So my girlfriend Rachel, now wife, decides she wants to visit Mike, Rachel, and I decide that we are going to go mudding in Mike's Jeep. We pick up Mandy along the way, which is in an extremely poor part of town, and we all head out to the woods. It was at this point that my spider senses started to tingle, and what was particularly odd is that Mandy was demanding that we go to a particular spot deep in the woods that she knew of. This was about 4 to 5 miles inside some deep woods and was not along the usual beaten path. Rachel and I start getting this awful feeling and we knew something was wrong. We suddenly come upon a group of about 6 well-built tall guys and Mandy says, "Stop, I know these guys." Mandy hops out of the Jeep and hugs one of the guys, a type of hug that is more than just friends. This is when a feeling of dread came over Rachel and myself. All 6 of the guys were looking at the Jeep and then looking at us with a look that only your enemy would give you. At this point I knew death was imminent. I reached up and locked the front passenger door in mine, Rachel locked hers, and I started yelling at Mike. "Get the F out of here or we're going to die." Rachel was yelling at him also, so Mike caved in and hit the gas. We drive down the road for about a mile, twisting and turning down several side roads. When our adrenaline subsided a bit we noticed we had a flat back left tire. Turns out the tire had been slashed by one of those guys. That was the quickest I've ever changed a tire in my entire life. Rachel and I knew that death was imminent if we didn't leave. It wasn't a suspicion, it wasn't a guess, it was a full knowing that we were going to die. Turns out Mandy was dating one of those guys and admitted that fact later to Mike.